Yeah, we're going now. I hope. Cool.
You got that?
Yep.
Happy to go. Rightio. So, yeah, just starting again. So I'm just gonna go through you today. Where we have the current NX roof shape and roof components, what we've done to NX in the last 3 or 4 months, where the software's at. So the purpose of today is for you, and I fully understand how difficult this is, but for you guys to watch what I'm doing and see the buttons and the ribbon and how the software is reacting to certain commands, and then give me some feedback as I go if you can. Okay? So the plan is to release a beta version of this software, as Naz said, towards the end of May, maybe early June. And that beta release will enable you to hopefully start the job in NX, build your levels and walls, put your openings in, beams and posts, build your roof shape, build your roof trusses, edit your roof trusses, edit your rafters, finish your roof virtually, and then send it back to EnduroCAD just to do the wall components. Okay, so that's obviously for a single story job.
So the wall editor, is that in Fire or is that?
Yeah, so it's look, I'm not the best to answer that, but I'm pretty sure there's some components that are written in, some parts of it are written in Fire and some parts of it are written in C#, maybe.
Yeah, let's see something.
Yeah, but at the moment it's not accessible in Enduro. So the wall components menu that you see in EnduroCAD, obviously we can't do that in NX. So at the moment we're going back to EnduroCAD to do the wall editing. That should not be as big a job as what it has been to do the roof shape and the roof components. So we shouldn't be waiting as long for that final fix. So yeah, just obviously chatting with Wenjin, our head programmer. He was hoping, we're still hoping, obviously towards the end of the year, everything to be completed in NX. Okay, that's our goal. But obviously getting feedback from you guys, and like if you guys can use it, give us feedback. We make the updates. That's going to obviously be easier and faster and quicker for us to get it to a point where you guys can use it. So the more feedback we get, the better. Today, as I detail, I'm gonna have a go at detailing or building the roof shape for your job here. Just note that if I do make a mistake, like a detailing error, or like I press the wrong button or I do it differently to what you guys, don't worry too much. I'm not worried about so much me making detailing mistakes. I'm more need feedback from the buttons. Yeah, correct, the functionality. Happy for you to point out if I make a mistake, but I'm not too concerned if I have a pitching perimeter in the wrong spot or something. Or
I think this one's already on site, so it doesn't matter, mate.
Yeah, okay. we're not gonna build this one.
Can you make that full screen so that it's the full screen or not?
Could you make your screen full screen at all?
We can change that.
What can we do that? Can we?
You up the top.
Mine is full
it's
screen.
It's full screen. I guess you guys need to check the setting.
Focus on content at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty big.
Okay, made a bit bigger.
That better?
Yeah. We can't see you now, but we can see your screen a bit better.
Good. That's even better again. Don't need to look at me. Okay, so this is a fairly typical. I don't actually know, but this was looking at the jobs that you guys sent through. This one looked like a fairly maybe typical, probably on the easier side.
Yeah, pretty standard.
Summit job. You've just got your garage on the front right there, which is obviously bricks. You've got a brick wall on the far left there. Not sure why it's brick there, but that's a boundary wall maybe or something.
Yeah.
And then just that raised porch there, which I'm going to have an attempt at doing my first raised porch in NX this morning. So yeah, watch this space. So I think the first thing that kind of jumps out at you up the top here, we've got the two tabs. We've got NX layout and NX models. So at the moment, you guys have got NX layout and NX levels and walls. Obviously, you're probably doing most of your work in layouts, but the models tab that I'm in now is now going to incorporate home, which obviously has some fairly, buttons here that visibility, export, new job, these kind of things. They're pretty straightforward. CAD general. I'm not sure if you guys use a lot of AutoCAD.
Yep.
In your system, yeah. So these buttons here are related straight to CAD. They're not so much the Enduro CAD buttons. Is that the right terminology then? That's like I guess it's almost like construction lines or
generic.
Yeah, that's you are right. Those one is just like a normal general CAD comments that you use to modify maybe your foreign CAD, or if you need to use for any like a helpline or construction line, you are using it, or mostly effect on your layout bar. For example, you cannot use this comment. For example, we have a join. You cannot use this join to join roof block. That's in the different tab. That's one is just a general. That's the reason it's under general CAD umbrella.
Correct. There are some very good buttons in here though that I think that you will use. I think like you'll probably use distance. Just like if you type in DIST, just to give you like a measurement between two spaces. You can see down here 3030 is our X dimension.
So if you're looking in plan view and the two walls are say different heights, that still works on the horizontal plane here, the screen space.
Correct, because we're clicking on 2 points. Yeah, exactly right. Because it's the X plane, that's obviously horizontal. So if there's two different height walls, we're not clicking on a diagonal. We're clicking on that in that X, Y, and Z plane for the DI. So I use the DIST a fair bit. Layers, sometimes you might want to turn on and off. If something doesn't want to be visible, you're probably better to use the visibility tab, but there's some options in there as well. So that's pretty straightforward. Your walls tab, I'm not going to obviously spend too long here. I was hopefully planning on maybe going through it a little bit, but I don't think today is probably the best time for that. If anybody has any questions about the levels and walls tab, we haven't made too many changes at the moment. It should be fairly similar to what you guys can see in your version. But then we got the roof.
I just add something. If you go to the wall and level, please. The only thing will be different with your current ribbon for level and wall. If you check at the end of the ribbon, here we have a panel, it says modify. In the current version that you guys using, you have an express tool. You don't have modify, which in your express tool, you have access, for example, to explore layer and all these modify comments. But now with the new installer that you will receive by end of the May or June, the ribbon is a bit slightly changed. With the level and wall, that's the only change. You have a modify panel instead of express tool.
Yep. Cool. Perfect. Thanks, Naz.
No worries.
So the roof shape, obviously this will be the first tab that I'm going to start on today. So you can see up there, we've got some buttons that look, to be fair, they should be fairly similar to what you see in EnduroCAD in terms of the terminology. There's a couple of different terms here that I will cross when we get to it. But as you can see, I've just built the walls and I've tried to adjust them to the right heights as per your job. I could have made some mistakes, absolutely, but it looks fairly close. So you can see here, just by rotating around the model, just holding down shift and the middle button on the mouse, fairly simple to get your isometric view. And then you can just obviously click on the top here to get a specific point, or up here you've also got custom view, top, front, left. So that's fairly easy to navigate. So I think first of all, our roof style manager has come into play a little bit here. We can see this option used to be in the job data in EnduroCAD. Yeah. So no longer in job data. We obviously make these changes in the roof shape menu, and we can make adjustments to obviously all the same settings that we can in EnduroCAD. A couple of maybe some some different ones here. The eaves, I think this one was also in the job data in a separate button. The loading data, similar again with the wind design. Your bottom chord loads, top chord loads, make some changes there. Battens, outriggers, we're still working on. Currently not in the version I've got, and also gable ladder as well. So those options are all going to be in the job, in the roof shape menu, and then you save your backbone, maybe 1200 truss centers, summit, save that as a roofs option, you know, and then you might have a 900 truss center one, or you might have some different roof style options based around different hip types. And the reason for this is, I'm sure a lot of you have done this in the past, where you're changing the parameters of the roof block within EnduroCAD, like in the same job. Would that be something that you would regularly do, or not so much?
Not regular, but yeah, occasionally.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so a little bit of a pain in EnduroCAD. You have to obviously change your roof style options, and then go back to the roof block and update loading parameters, and then make sure that obviously you change it back if you're going to continue building more roof blocks in the job. So now obviously we can assign
probably a bit more regular. If we've got truss direction change and one roof plane is split to be half hip, half rafters, half truss.
Yep.
Then we're sort of backwards and forwards in
the loading parameters.
Changing the hip end types or the roof face type.
Yep. Hip end types will be different. That's obviously adjusted, in the hip end type menu here. But it would just be if you had different loading, maybe you had a different roof pitch on a garage, like a flat roof or something, that had a 3-degree pitch. Maybe you could have a different setting. But that's probably maybe not a change that'll affect you guys too much if your roof is generally the same all the way through. But just have some options there to set up some different roof detailing options that you could just preset and choose. Obviously, we choose our default roof style manager, and then we're going to insert the roof block. So similar to, actually, before we do that, I might just look at our pitching perimeter. Still good?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, shit. No, don't that down.
What happened?
Are you guys okay?
And it turned up the volume.
Oh, too loud?
No, it's good now. It wasn't for a second. It was like a big thunder crack, man.
Rightio.
Oh, good.
Okay, there is a bit of a delay in my voice. I can hear your end. So apologise, I might be a little bit of a pause as I talk to hear myself catch up your end.
I guess, at the moment we can hear Glenn twice. Can you fix this? Glenn, can you hear yourself?
No, we can't.
I think it's all right now. I'll work with that. That's fine.
Oh, right, yeah.
Rightio, so looking at our pitching perimeter in EnduroCAD, we obviously make those changes in the level menu.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we click on the pitching perimeter, all the dimensions come up, plus or minus, in and out, maybe modify a vertex, that kind of thing. So obviously our pitching perimeter now is this white line, or similar to like a polyline maybe in CAD, and we make changes to this pitching perimeter by using the grip points.
And you can just change that to different colours just to suit, so you don't get confused, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. In the layers menu, obviously your pitching perimeter is on your L1 RF pitching perimeter layer.
Cool.
I can change the color here, but if you go into the layers menu and actually change that color in your job settings, Naz is probably better explaining that. But I'm sure, if you wanted to identify that with a green line or a red line.
No, that's okay. I just was curious. So.
Perfect. So obviously, when we're changing the pitching perimeter now, we're just selecting obviously a grip point, and we can move it in and out with a command with a distance. Okay.
I like it.
So it'll it can grip to CAD lines. Obviously, you want to have your orthogonal button on. If you're adjusting the pitching perimeter, you probably don't want to skew it on a strange angle, but it's probably a little bit of a change to what you're used to, I guess. But I don't think it's going to be a big negative. Is there any questions around pitching perimeter or adjustment?
That's a lot easier than it is now in Enduro.
I think one of the biggest improvements on it is that you don't need to go back to your levels menu, find your pitching perimeter, edit your pitching perimeter, edit geometry. Like,
yeah,
you got 3 or 4 clicks to get to the point where you're making those adjustments.
Yeah.
I think now, like, you can just obviously see it, you click on it, you make the move. It's a lot more easy to get to that point where you are making that adjustment. So that's, I've obviously tried to match what you guys do. I don't know, you guys can probably tell me how I went. What is it, 124? What's that? What do you take that at, 110 or something, is it?
110 for 70 mil truss, yeah.
110. I think I actually built it as 75 mil truss, or I've got the setting at 75. Maybe I should change that. You guys use 70s, do you?
Yeah.
Right. So we've got our pitching perimeter in the right spot. We've adjusted it. You guys obviously do a lot of adjustment of that pitching perimeter, so it would be great to get some feedback around that. But then we're building the roof block, whole shape. I've obviously made a mistake somewhere. In some right angles, maybe the CAD's a bit wrong. I've obviously snapped to a wrong point down there. It's exactly the same as Enduro CAD. Tidy it up and continue. The perimeter was corrected. Accept this and continue. All our pictures come up on the screen, and then you can see down here we've got all build as our 2 options. Obviously, if you want to change the pitch, you can left select one, or you can click all, change the whole pitch, if for whatever reason you've got that setting wrong in your roof construction menu. But build being in the parentheses or the brackets here, if you right click on your mouse, you can see on the cursor as well, it says build with the right click. So right click, okay, build. A little bug there where that roof goes away, but that's fine. So we're looking at our roof shape now that we've built.
That's awesome.
Okay, so
nice.
Really,
we're getting a yellow, yellow. The yellow opaque, signifies the roof block we've built. Right, so we build that roof block. We've obviously got that roof block to be lowered in the garage. What's the first thing you guys would do?
Cut the garage roof block off, cut all the pitching off the porch, al fresco, separate that so you can lower that as well. Is that a lower al fresco, I'm guessing?
Oh, I haven't actually got the plans. I was just looking at the plan view. Yeah, what I will try and do, I'll just try and show you a few things. I know there are definitely going to be a few instances here where I probably do get stuck, but I will attempt to show you as much as I can with the roof cutting around that front porch in the garage. And I'm probably going to do it differently to what you guys do. And the way that I do it is probably not going to be the most efficient. So don't focus too much again on how I do this. Just maybe focus on what I'm doing.
Yep.
Okay, so we can see up here, we've got a command called slice roof block. Can we all see that?
Yep.
Okay, that drop down menu has our 4 options: face slice, vertical slice path, and horizontal slice. Okay. So slice is replacing cut. Okay. We decided to go with that change because of the way CAD interprets the word cut differently to what we wanted to do with NX, or what we were trying to do with the cut or the slice, is different to what the cut would do in a general CAD cut command.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. So any feedback around this stuff's great, because obviously, you know, there's only 10 of us making this decision. So if there's anything that you think looks difficult to interpret or understand, then sing out. But we're just going with slice instead of cut. Still, I still say cut in my head, but I am getting to a point where the slice is making sense. So yeah, so just reiterating there that the face slice is an EnduroCAD face cut, the vertical slice is a vertical cut, and the vertical slice path is a vertical cut path in EnduroCAD.
Yep.
Rightio, I'm just going to start with a vertical slice here, and once again, don't focus on the on the order of what I'm doing things. So we're just going to click on an edge.
Okay.
Enter thickness of the, so that yellow line there that's come up is signifying the edge that I've selected. Enter thickness of the cut. 99% of the time it's going to be 0. Do you guys ever use the cut command and change it from 0?
No, only if it's a horizontal cut.
Yeah, and you allow for the roof button or something in between. Yep. So now I've just made that cut. We've got 2 roof blocks there, pretty easy to see.
Yep.
Green and a yellow. So that one worked okay. I'm just going to do a face cut now. I'm sure you guys possibly wouldn't, or a face slice. Sorry, I'm going to do a face slice. You guys probably might not necessarily do it this way. I'm going to leave it unidentified. Okay, so now I've got obviously 3 roof blocks. Okay. Happy with that?
Shit, that's cool.
Yeah, I do agree, and it's sometimes it's hard for me to give these presentations because I've been using, I guess, the NX roof shape now for 2 or 3 months pretty intensively. I sometimes do forget the like the smaller things that maybe when you first use it come across really great. I agree. It's really kind of powerful to see. You know, obviously you have to create WRL, overall roof shape, components in EnduroCAD. It can be a little bit frustrating, but just that, you know, 2-second look at what you've done, I think it's great. Great to be able to do that. Okay, now I'll just do a path cut. I know it's, yeah, I guess technically that would be a you could do that as a straight cut, but I'm just going to do a path cut through here. This is maybe you might do this path cut before you do the face cut. It's going to run through here. Select a point. So obviously it's good to have orthogonal turned on when you're doing a path cut. We get around and then we can right click to rejoin that path. Okay.
Does the path? Face cut.
Yep. Sorry.
I've never actually used the face cut, but it looks like it saves one process of cutting the block instead of having to cut the triangle and put the triangle in there to fix the garage once you've got the face and all that shit.
I use the face cut a lot. I'm not necessarily. I don't think in this instance it's necessarily going to change what you've done there, but I do that face cut a lot. But yeah, I'm just trying to get, the program has bugs, and I'm trying to get to a point where I don't necessarily crash it or get to a point where I can't proceed. So I am following a little bit of a prearranged routine here. But you can see here the path cut, very similar to EnduroCAD. I don't think there's going to be too many issues with that. Does the path cut look correct? We're going to go with yes.
Yeah.
Select a block. Select a block. Yeah, so I did think that might occur there. Okay, so we're having there is a little issue with that. I'll just go back. Control Z. This is a good one to show. Selecting a block with the path cut. So you could see there, I got to that path cut, and I was aware of that issue, and I wasn't 100% sure it was going to happen then. So just selecting that block with the path cut after you've already done cuts in the block isn't working great. So
that's big improvement, Glenn.
Yeah, I did want to show you that. Yeah.
It's like it just undoes everything and brings you right back to the start. Everything's joined together and it's not all.
Correct. You can see here I've got 61 commands that I could go back to and choose how far back you want it to go. So that one is pretty powerful, and a very good one to be able to utilize.
So sorry, I missed what the error was there. What was the error of that last cut?
So the error was, and I won't dwell on it too long because I'm aware of it, but when I cut I did the path cut and it crossed over 2 different blocks because I had that face cut already done. And then it asked me to select which block because the path goes through 2 blocks. And it wouldn't let me select the block.
Oh, okay. So it's more a bug than a...
Oh, bug. 100. Oh, it's small, but I was aware of it. It's not something that I wasn't aware of. It was just yeah.
So it's better to do a path cut first then before you do the face cut?
No, ignore that because this was probably why I don't want to dwell too much. So it's a bug that we're going to fix. So don't think that you need to follow what I'm doing now. It's a known bug I'm aware of, and I will get that adjusted so you can, after you've cut blocks, do a path cut and select a block. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to redo that. So now I've done the same thing. Yes. So now I've got that block separated.
Yep.
Okay. Now we want to...
Can you do a path cut now?
Around that front section?
Yeah. Do you do path cut now or wouldn't really make sense?
I'll probably just do... I'm just aware that I'm going to hit a wall in a minute if I do something in a certain way.
Okay.
I did get it to a point that it worked. I thought that roof cut. Okay, so I'll just do a face cut to get rid of this one. Okay, so I've got a face cut there, and then I'm going to join that one. Join roof blocks. So I've cut that little green face cut off the garage. I'm going to join that to my yellow one.
Yeah, so that gets you back to where you were before your error.
So you don't have to choose the big one before. Yeah, you don't have to choose the bigger one before.
Yeah. So now I'm back to 2 roof blocks. So I've just added that little corner onto that little triangle piece onto the blue one. Okay, now I will try and do a vertical cut across here just because, and I want to be careful here. I don't spend too long just cutting blocks because that's probably not what we necessarily need to do.
It's handy to know though, Glenn.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to watch because, yeah, I think we both learn from each other as well. So I'm just going to do some vertical slices on the front. It's good for Naz to see this too because I've got some really good ideas that I want to do around raised porches. Leave that unidentified. Spacebar is your previous command, so it comes up with a list here of the cuts. Vertical cuts. Ooh. Vertical cut straight. We're obviously cutting around this porch section. 0. Okay. Leave it unidentified. I don't know. You guys might leave it identified.
That's a change too, isn't it, Glenn? That when you do a vertical cut like that, it won't cut through all the roof blocks, just cuts through that main one, doesn't it?
No, well, that's why I did that vertical cut at the back there.
Okay.
So it'll only cut the block you're in, but if I had left these 2 joined, it would have cut all the way back to the back of the house.
Okay.
Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's right. I could be wrong. Sorry, you guys. Keep in mind, you guys would do probably a lot more of that than me. So we've got our roof blocks set up. We've got the garage one, and we've got the front one here on the left and the back one. It's going to be separate. Okay, now I'm just going to do another vertical cut down this side. Okay. Then I'm going to do a vertical cut here. You guys keeping up?
Yeah.
Right. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Once again, don't focus on how I'm doing it because if you guys have a better way, don't look at that. Okay, I'm just going to delete that. And then I'm just going to, the reason I probably wanted to do that was just to show this other feature. So we're cutting that corner out because we're changing it into a hip, obviously. So I've got the 4 roof blocks, one at the back, the garage one we're going to lower, the middle section here with the raised portico, and this side section here is not going to change. So we've got those blocks there, and then I would insert a roof block quad sub shape by 4 edges. You guys would be aware of that. We're obviously going to use that edge. I did build that construction line in, just coming off that hip, bisecting that outside of that pitching perimeter with that hip. Select there and there. We're going to select that edge, and we're going to select that edge. Is this shape correct? Yes. Okay, so we need to change some roof pitches on this block. Obviously. 90. 90. Right hand to build. Okay. Are we happy with that?
Yeah. Marvelous.
You're following the raised portico roof building, Naz?
Of course.
Yeah, you're glad that I'm doing this demonstration?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
so
enjoying it.
Yeah. So we've got a raised portico here out the front, and now obviously the next step would be, well, not the next step, but you can go a few different things. We're going to join roof block. So there's this command here. I think do we have a shortcut? Oh yeah, up the top here. Join roof block button here underneath the slice block. So select the first roof block, comes up with that white outline. Select the second, right click to join. Okay. We can try that one again to connect this one and this one. Right click to join. Okay, now we've got 3 roof blocks.
For that?
Sorry?
No repeat for that?
Yes, spacebar, right click. Or Naz can jump in there.
Yeah, spacebar.
What was the question? About the shortcut? What was the question?
Shortcut.
Oh, yeah, about the shortcut, definitely all the command you will receive like a cheat sheet. That's I explain about the shortcut. How shortcut it will work is like exactly CAD-based software like AutoCAD. For example, join in AutoCAD is J. In NX also is a J for normal CAD-based software, but like for example, join roof block will be JRB, join roof block. What will happen with the NX is like we have an action item and we have objects like join roof block, for example, join wall frame. The first one will be same, but the rest is different. With the extend and trim, the same thing. We try to keep everything similar with the CAD software to make it easier for all the user, but our object is different.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So yeah,
Happy?
perfect. I don't have my cheat sheet in front of me, and I tend to use the mouse for the.
At the moment
anyway.
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
At the moment I'll say it doesn't work angle and
Oh,
all the
right,
shortcut.
okay,
We haven't
perfect,
added. Yeah, don't
righto.
worry about that. Yeah.
So just to go back over that, I just obviously Control Z. I'm back to those 3 roof blocks. So if we hit join roof block, left click, right click, and then right click, join roof block, left click, right click. Okay, so if we recent commands are obviously at the top, or I think spacebar does the same thing. Yeah,
So
spacebar will give you the
right
last
click.
command.
Left click, left.
Yeah.
So you don't have to select the biggest block like you used to have to do in Enduro.
Do you have to select the biggest block in Enduro?
Yeah, you have to select the biggest block
Yeah,
first.
sometimes it'll give you errors if you try and join
Right.
smaller one first.
Didn't even know that. I chose the smallest one there, didn't I? So I guess that tells us that we don't. Maybe, yeah, double check that. But I don't. I can double check that. But to the best of my knowledge, I don't think that we need to.
Right.
Cool. Okay. So now I've got this funky looking roof block here, and just to show you, obviously the eaves. We're going to insert an eaves block select the roof face, select the edge. Then I think, what do you, 500? I think is.
Yeah.
Where you guys are at. Maybe, anyway, doesn't matter for this one. Go 500.
Seems to be.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so got a couple of issues here, obviously. We've got this big long eave here. I don't think EnduroCAD does that. Obviously, I'll speak with our programmers about that, but we do have obviously the ability to modify the end angle. Not 100% sure why that one didn't work. I think it did when I tried it before, but if we do this, select here, 45. Does this look correct? That should be a yes, not an okay. But we can modify the block, modify the eve angle.
Glenn?
Sorry?
To change the end angle, did you just do a right click?
Yep, so we'll just go back. Okay, so modify the end angle up here in the ease block menu. Can you see the mouse up the top?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to modify the end angle of the eave block.
Yeah.
And then it's select an eave block. Select
Okay,
an end face, which is obviously left clicking.
Yeah.
And then set to 45.
Okay. Yep. All right.
And then does it look correct? We can see the okay, which should be yes, and it will be changed to yes, hopefully by the time you get it. But at the moment it says okay. If I right click, the right click confirms the notation within the brackets. So you can use the three options down here, okay, retry, cancel, but okay is the default option that we can use to right click.
Can enter give you the same result or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Naz. Perfect.
No worries.
Enter. Cool. Right. So now we've got a eave block here. So what are we going to do with that?
Cut it back.
Sell it on Gumtree.
Cut it back. Sell it on Gumtree. Love it. So we'll go up to here to slice. So we're going to slice. We're not going to cut. We're going to slice the eaves block. And we're going to select an eaves block with our left click. Indicate the approximate location of the cut. Well, let's give it the exact location of the cut, which is going to be right here. I know in EnduroCAD you can't select the exact location. It won't let you snap to a intersection, which you always need to do when you're selecting the position of the eave cut position.
Yeah.
Unless you've got some CAD line there that you could snap to. Obviously, we could change the dimension, or we could go right click OK. Okay, then we left select the eave, and we just hit delete. Okay.
Could you have cut it on the hip line as well, or no?
Well, because that notation is referencing the horizontal cut. Yeah, like I could select the hip line, but it's not going to cut it along the hip line. What we would then need to do is modify the end angle and change it to 135 degrees. But I know it's not going to work in that instance because it's a bug. So if I select the eave block, select the end face, it's not picking that up as an end face, which it should. So there's another small bug that I'm aware of. But you would hopefully, when you get the beta version, you would select the end face like you would obviously here, and you would change it to 135. So it would inverse the angle.
Yep.
Okay. Right. So look, to be fair, when you've got an eave block like that, it's not going to make a difference if it overlaps a little bit of the roof face, I don't think.
Right.
But it is good to get it like looking how you kind of want it to.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing that we've got is the this button here, which we're going to change. At the moment, it says stretch roof block. We're going to change that to extend. Well, sorry, we're planning on changing that to extend trim. Or is it extend shrink, Naz?
Trim.
Extend trim.
Yep.
Extend trim. Yep. So the extend trim roof block button is going to mirror the modify block extend trim command in EnduroCAD. Do you guys use that much?
Sometimes if we've got like a tight valley at the back of a garage or something, we'll extend the cut face so when you lower it, it doesn't give you a block error and overlapping.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Yep. What I'm going to do here, I am going to cheat a bit because I know you guys. I know.
Yeah, but investigate it so detail that
You
Sorry.
okay, Claire?
Did I miss that? Was there some background question there?
No.
Was that you guys chatting, or was that you in the background, Naz?
I guess it's my background.
Sorry,
I will turn
sorry.
my. Yeah, I muted. I muted. Okay.
Apologise. I thought somebody in the team there was asking me a question. sorry. It was someone at Naz's end. Rightio. So apologies, guys. So I'm just going to I understand you guys would probably at this point join these two roof blocks after you lowered the roof face, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'm not going to do that because I know that I can't build trusses in this roof block if I lower it and then join it, okay, which is a known bug that I'm aware of as well. Okay, so I'm just going to try and get it to a point where I can lay some trusses out.
Yep.
Sorry. So what I'm going to. Sorry.
So when we get the version to try out, that bug potentially will be fixed then, sort of thing.
Yes. Yes. Correct. What you've got to be aware of, though, and this is why I obviously want to have these sessions with you guys, is if I'm missing something, like obviously I'm trying to cover as many bases as I can, and your jobs are great to use as test jobs because of the way you really push the boundaries around block cutting and roof shapes and joining and modifying and extending. So that's where all the bugs obviously are. But yeah, 100% hopefully want to get those bugs ironed out. I can't obviously confirm that it's going to come through 100%, but this is what these presentations. So yeah, just to be fair, that beta version that we released, we're not going to release it to everybody. We want to get feedback obviously from a select few, and hopefully Backbone can help out a bit there with that feedback. But what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to extend trim this garage block over this brick wall here, so the trusses overlap by 90 mil. So I'd use the stretch roof block command, select vertical roof face. So we can see it selected that yellow face. It's it's a lot easier than EnduroCAD, but we've got obviously selecting this block on this side because it's come up with the white. So we just go next, which is then the green block in the garage. That looks okay. Enter distance to extend the block. What's the brick wall? Are they 90 or 110?
Yeah, 90 mil.
90, yep. So we're just going to extend that 90 mil, and you can see obviously that garage block is extended to the left side of that wall when looking at it from the front. So we'll go with okay. We're happy with that. So we've got our 3 roof blocks still intact, and then we're going to lower the bottom face. Okay, so do we have a button for that, or is that I think we're still typing it in. So lower bottom face.
Yeah.
Sorry, we do up the top. Lower bottom face. The button up the top here. Select the roof block. Is it 257? What?
Yeah.
257. Yep. Cool. So we'll just do that, and we can see that we have lowered that face close. Maybe my detailing is a bit wrong with some wall heights, but we've got something similar probably to what we require. Okay.
Yep.
Now we obviously got some eaves blocks there to build. Left select. Is it 530 on this one?
Yes. Yeah.
Got a good memory there. That should come up with the last command. Spoken to software hours about that. We obviously don't want to keep typing in 530. We want oh, not that big.
Be good if you could select all edges that you wanted to build the eaves on and do them all in one hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree. Yep. Yeah, 100%. Is that something that you would do often? Like you would add the eaves on like that, or would you have, or they all already come up?
The way you do it, because I don't think we can in Enduro, can we? Like select all edges and do them at once.
Can you get them
Yeah,
to
I'm just not
Can.
sure. Yeah, just not sure because obviously, yeah, with the way you detail. So we're just going to obviously change this one to 90. Doesn't look correct. Okay. So now we're looking pretty good, I think, with our roof block there.
Yep.
Right. So I know you guys love to do your coffered ceilings. So the void blocks and the ceiling blocks are in the same menu now. I'm not sure if you guys have any say around that or any feedback on that one, but we've combined the ceiling blocks menu with the void block menu.
Okay.
Never really used the void blocks in the roof menu because I didn't see how they would differ from a ceiling block. So I've always just used a ceiling block.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think one thing I did use void blocks for as opposed to ceiling blocks was when you had a void block maybe inside like the truss envelope, not starting on the outside, like on the ceiling line. If you wanted to put like a unit up inside the truss that sat on top of the truss bottom cord, but
Okay, I didn't know you could do that. So then that's good.
Yeah,
for
Yeah, I found that a bit glitchy when I tried that.
You tried it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And move it by 0.
it was a bit funny. Like the end result was always kind of similar, but there was obviously some options there. With the ceiling block, you can't adjust. So it's a bit harder to adjust the bottom face because it stays at the ceiling level, obviously.
Yeah.
Whereas a void block, you can adjust the bottom face any position. But I know you guys love or you have a lot of jobs with like a coffered ceiling. I'm not sure exactly how you do it, but I don't know. Maybe let's just make it 300 for this one, just to make my trusses a little bit easier. But we'll just go with that. Yeah, my void block's probably not the right color because it's same as the roof block. But you can see there we can select this. Maybe we know that we're going to go like in a meter from every edge or from the outside edge. So we just, similar to your pitching perimeter, we're just going to adjust the position of the void block by using the stretch command. Probably another good one to look at is, apologize for that color. Maybe can I change that here, Naz? Maybe here, make it green. So we've got a void block here. We're going to adjust the height in the properties menu. We can see here in the EC properties, we've got 2738, 2438. So we want to maybe increase that 200 mil higher.
That's cool.
Adjust it in that sense. While we're there, similar kind of option with your eave overhang. If you want to adjust the overhang, we can see the overhang is 530.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make it 600.
Awesome. That's really cool.
You adjust that in the properties menu there.
Yeah.
So that's probably one that I was going to show you. But yeah, the void blocks probably, I think it's probably a bit easier to use than the ceiling and void block menus in EnduroCAD in terms of just being able to, push and pull it kind of thing with a.
That's cool. You can extend it like in 3D. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's like the grip, the triangles represent the stretch, and Naz might override me here, but the triangles represent obviously stretch. So you can shift it by like in the X and Y planes using that one.
It's cool.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Does the ceiling block function the same way as the void block here that you're stretching and whatnot, or?
So we don't have a ceiling block function. We've just got the void block.
Okay.
So if you want to use it as a ceiling block, you've just got to make sure you set your base RL at your ceiling height.
Okay.
I do have to do a little bit more testing in this. I haven't actually done a lot of testing of the angled ceiling faces that you want to when you have a rake truss.
Yeah, working trusses.
But I will. So, but yeah, if you want to obviously
Is that
raise one of the
face command, has it, or
Sorry.
there's a raise to roof face command? Is there for that?
Yeah, raise to roof face to construction plane
Oh yeah.
to edge vertex. Yeah, so I think I just hit the raise face. I think these commands are all pretty similar to what you see in the ceiling block menu. Yeah, I think that one's pretty good. Look,
Yeah.
you guys would use it a lot more than me, so the feedback on that one would probably be pretty good. But that would be fairly a fairly good. Yeah, like I don't know. That's probably a good one to have a quick pause and see if there's anything in there that you think we've missed.
I personally struggled with the ceiling block in Enduro, so I always opted to go for the void block. I found it a lot easier to use in Enduro, but yeah, that's just a personal thing. Yeah, because it's quicker and I know I can adjust the height. To me, it was more the void block in Enduro was more like ArchiCAD, so it's based on the heights. But that is a little thing.
So do you think like by looking at that, I guess there's two questions. I guess one, do you think that we're going to you're going to be able to still do everything that you need to? And two, does it look easier? Like, is that?
Yeah.
Did we get it right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely easier not having to go in and out of different menus all the time. That's a bit of a slowdown, that is.
Totally agree, and that's obviously Naz's side of the like she does all of that with that. Just those, you can go back and forth by so much easier to click between menus without pausing for 5 seconds while it does a wall check or something. I think that's pretty cool.
Don't get Keith started on that.
No, all right, we'll move on. Rightio, so we've obviously got some functions here. I'm not sure if you guys have ever built a jerkin or a bell roof. Probably not super common these days. You'd probably use the Dutch hip a bit. Maybe the dormer. I don't know. I often build the dormers as saddles. Prefer to use the saddle one and join the roof block. I find it a little bit easier to use. The verge faces. Sorry.
Bell roof, my last place.
You did a bell roof?
Yeah, last place I was at, timber trusses.
Oh, with timber, not with steel.
No,
yeah, right. I reckon I've done one or two, but I reckon it was very early on when they had, they used to have the verandas, like the dual pitch, and the verandas would be built into the roof truss.
Yeah.
But that, I can't say I've done that recently. But those features there, I know the verge faces aren't working yet. How are we going for time? What are you guys? You guys all right?
Yeah. I think I put an hour down. Yeah.
Cool, righto. I'll speed up. So those options are in there. Yeah, just the dormer, not quite there yet. So we go on the roof components. This menu is obviously going to probably be a little bit quicker than the last, but we can see here we've got most of the buttons similar to what we used to have. I think you guys used you draw it in AutoCAD and then put it on the lines.
Yeah.
What's this? Sorry,
when you insert trusses, I'll just
I usually plot them out in AutoCAD. It's just so we can avoid any
right
for us on the roof.
Yeah, I'll just obviously we're going to just change those hip bands. I might just quickly do this hip. This block's a bit easier, so we're just going to change our faces to the hips. I'm sure you guys will be all over that. I finished. They all look fine. Start line set. I'd probably start here on this line. You can see here it's a bit hard to read. I'm gonna try and get that a bit better. We've got a plus and a minus. Minus is on this side. It's hidden in the eave, but so I'll just go minus 40 for a truss. And then we'll go 1160 for a truss. And then it's going to put them in at 1200. So that command's no different. You guys don't use that command too much. Is that right?
I don't. I'm just so used to doing them freehand. I just always do.
Yeah, right. Okay. You use it? Yeah, right. I do too, but that's neither here nor there. So we can still insert on any line. So we want to insert. I know one of these doesn't work, but use this roof block. Okay. Indicate the direction of the truss. So we'll go. Which way are we going? We'll go minus. We'll go. Use a lot of commands here, isn't there? We'll go the minus side, and we'll go single non-flush. I think that's the reason I don't use that, because it takes asks me so many questions. But yeah, you can see obviously we're building some roof blocks there. It's put that coffered in. Oh, only just got that, didn't I?
I don't think that'll pass, mate.
I don't think it will either. I thought I gave myself plenty of room when I went a meter. But I guess we can. I think let's just have a go here. Properties. Let's just drop that 27. Oh, that's all right, because I lifted it, didn't I? So we'll lower that a little bit. Happy with that. And then select, unselect, reselect that roof truss. And then right click, truss, rebuild, reset. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. So it's rebuilt. That probably looks a bit better. So we've got that functionality. Like, that's pretty cool. I tend to use that a little bit.
Can you do all at the same time?
Good question. I don't know if I can if the trusses are different.
Okay.
I think they need to be. I reckon we'll get a crash here. I don't know.
Worked on one.
Well done, Enduro team. Look at that, rebuilt, perfect. So the answer is, I'll take that back. The answer is yes, we can do that.
That saves a lot of time.
Maybe don't listen too much to. I should have more faith in the team, shouldn't I? Yeah. So that's pretty cool. You can obviously grab it, move it.
God, that's awesome as well.
Sometimes there is a small bug that I was aware with Wengen. When the webs don't rebuild, but you can obviously just you virtually do it when you're in the web editor anyway. But you can obviously rebuild that. Or I think there is a command to rebuild truss, and it puts those webs back in. There was some reason that when it gets moved, it misses some webs. But
it automatically detected the void then, didn't it, and stepped over it automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it rebuilds, correct. You move it at 300, it'll rebuild the truss to suit the roof shape and the void block, and everything around that. So, I think that's not too bad.
Cut ours back to the load bearing wall. Yeah, right.
Sorry?
Have you tried, say, before you build your eaves, if you cut your roof block back to the internal wall and build your eaves from there, would the heel height cause errors in this, or is it something that you've tried yet or not? We just do that to create right on the end of the truss.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know what you mean. Yeah, instead of that.
It helps the guys just place their trusses better.
Yeah, I'm with you. Radio. So, do you want to have a go, or do you want me to keep going?
I was just wondering, you maybe try it the other day or whatever, and just see if it crashes at all.
I can do it on this edge because it's pretty square. So we'll just delete trusses, block, select the block, delete the trusses. Radio. So let's just delete that eave out of the way so we don't worry about it. So we're going to do a roof shape. We're going to cut the block. We're going to do a vertical slice. We're going to do it on that edge. Thickness 0. Okay. Rightio, and then you guys delete that block, and then add eaves block. Oh, looks like I did get that cut in the wrong spot. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Getting a little bit fast, aren't I? All right, so that's 3 mil. So let's see if we can shrink that block. way. 3. Look okay. I don't know. It's hard to tell, isn't it? There. Looks better. Happy with that, guys?
You see how you got on the hip though, you did a straight cut. This is where we'd normally do a path so that we can cut along the hip.
Right. Where you normally do a path.
It'll still work.
Yeah, so sorry. So you do a path cut all the way around the outside and then rebuild all your eaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All good.
Yeah, no, I think that will work. I don't think that would be a problem with what you're doing, but I'll just do this one to save me 5 minutes of work. So our overhang is going to be what, 530 plus 110?
40.
640.
Yep.
Cool. Okay.
My
Roof
ankles.
components. Yeah, minus. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Does it build in the overhang? Doesn't want to build the overhang automatically.
I think it will. I'm more worried about that void block not picking that up. Oh, because the front side of the truss must just miss it. So if we go to edit, I think it is. I think the void block is just yeah, it's there.
Oh, okay.
It's just not seen because the void block with the eave block was a bit darker. I thought the same thing
Yeah.
when I looked at it, but yeah. So I think that's
cool.
Yeah, looks all right.
Yep.
Works great.
Sorry, you're right. That center of that truss must just miss that void block. Or just looks like it's right on it. Yeah. So yeah. So good. So happy with that. Is there anything else I got to show? I did put some.
Bottom of the list there.
Let's go back to this one. Okay. So let's just see if I can lay some trusses out on here. I'm not 100% certain it'll work. Insert trusses, 1 block. Let's just do a save. What type 1? All right, what do we got? 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. Do that. So probably got 20. Maybe 12, 20.
See, this is why we do it in AutoCAD.
Yeah.
We draw it in there first. That way we can just go anywhere and just trace all the lines, and we got it in the spot that we want.
Yeah. I think there was a small error there with what it was trying to do. Understand? Yeah. I correct. I don't want to change what you're doing there. That would have just probably taken me a bit long because I'm not sure where you want to place trusses. And I think the nearby one, we've got some work to do on that one. Doesn't let me select a truss when I go nearby.
You use the anywhere one, right?
Yep.
Anywhere one works. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yep. We'll go there to there. Side to build truss. Single non-flush.
Yeah, cool. But that's what we see.
Yeah.
But we could do all our construction lines.
That one didn't work. Correct. Yeah. And then yeah, like I did a construction line here. So insert single truss on any line. Use this roof block. Okay. Directions.
Construction lines are movable as well, are they?
Yeah, that's just a CAD line.
Yeah.
So you could yeah, so we're just gonna copy. And you're going 1200.
Cool.
Sorry. My now it's my turn for my keyboard to be a bit sticky. If that's how you wanted to work it, yeah, probably wouldn't. I'm sure Naz has got a faster command than that. But yeah, like that would be construction line for sure to be able to use. So I'll just do we have any questions around that? I'm wary of the time, and I don't want to spend too long on anything that we that we don't need to. So was there any other questions relating to putting the trusses in? Or I know there are some bugs. I'm not saying we're 100%.
What about rafters? Is that working?
Yeah. We'll just move on to that one. I've got that one. I just did a bit of work, so just to save me putting those trusses back in. This one's similar job. I just couldn't put trusses in that front block. So this was an example where I joined the garage to this block, and it wouldn't let me put trusses in past that one.
So it doesn't like the faces being at two different planes, eh?
I think so, yeah. So I'm going to log that as a bug with Wengen. So I've got, this is just, it let me put a truss there and let me put a truss there, but it wouldn't let me put a truss anywhere in that garage space where it stepped down. You can see the step down is, it's a bit hard to see, I know.
So for the time being, we just have to leave them as separate blocks, eh?
I wouldn't worry about for the time being, because your beta version that you receive at the end of the month, hopefully we've got these issues fixed. Okay,
Thanks.
so
Thanks.
yeah, so that was just why for this presentation I left those two blocks separated.
No worries.
Remember, it's a beta too. It's not what we're going to
It's correct.
Yeah.
You're exact. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. So just look. There were a couple of errors in this job. That's probably why you've probably seen some different colours. I apologise for that. I'll try and keep the regen button going on repeat so we can look all square. So we've obviously got just two normal hip ends here. We're going to build the hip components on a face. Select here. Space bar. Didn't work. Build hip components. Face. Select there. Okay, so we've got two hip faces. Okay, so we're going to left select the face, block reference. We're going to right click. We're going to edit in place. Hip 001. Okay, so we're editing hip 001. Okay. So at the moment we don't have any shortcut buttons here. This reference edit is not referencing anything related to EnduroCAD buttons. Obviously that'll change with the version you get. But for me to make any changes, I can left select the rafter. Maybe I want to move it. So that's just a, hang on, I've got a, is it move rafter, Naz? Yeah, move rafter by distance. We're going to go minus 100. And it'll move it in that way. Or if we want to move rafter, select rafter by dimension to there. I want to go 1200, center to center, and it'll adjust it as such. The other thing I think, which I think is pretty cool, I think you can just use, actually we'll try, it's probably easier to see it on this one.
So the ease blocks aren't transparent like the roof block is, eh?
I'm definitely hoping, I've spoken to, Wengen's aware of that, and I want to get that fixed. You can see in this one, it's probably really difficult for you guys to watch because of that constant reflashing or flash on that ease block, changing the color. I've got to do a little bit of work with Wengen on that as well. So, yeah.
Epilepsy.
But we can make some adjustments to the rafter just by using that stretch one.
Cool.
Very nice.
And will it, when you do that stretch button, if you wanted to, will it stretch it back to the hip and to the correct spot on the hip?
If you move it, if you use the move rafter command, it'll rebuild the rafter back to the hip.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, if you wanted to, obviously that one's going to be a bit long there. Maybe we just want to stop him there. That might be quicker than extend trim to truss, maybe, or extend trim to line. You can see. I don't want that one there. Let's just move it across to there and rebuild it. Like, all right, that's pretty cool. I know I'm using the mouse, so it seems a bit probably maybe not as much, but that, like, you know how you often like you're trying to
just to do that.
Yeah, like, you know how you're trying to find that point where the rafter doesn't intersect with that rafter top chord, and you've got to kind of, I guess you can guess it in Enduro CAD, or you kind of know with the line if you zoom in far enough. But just being able to see that kind of in 3D. I know there's some visibility issues here, and I apologise for that, as Keeson just mentioned. But just being able to maybe just move it a fraction, and then let's just, for whatever reason, we're not past the hip enough, the valley enough. We want to go a bit further because we can see the valley line there.
Yeah, cool.
So
And can you add a rafter to the return phase for whatever reason you may need a return?
add a rafter to the down here.
Yeah.
Phase.
Yeah, great question.
Because I remember when you used to do it in Enduro, you used to just shit to put another face in there.
I know, it's a pain, isn't it? So insert, I think, what if we just use copy? I don't know, Naz, I might get in trouble from Naz here. So if we go that.
It doesn't cut it back to the
Yeah, well, that was because I used copy and not like a copy rafter. So you got to remember the difference between if you're using a CAD command or an EC command. So when I use commands like copy and move, without move rafter or copy rafter, then you're going to get it's not going to rebuild necessarily. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just to add something here, in the future, definitely we will block this like cat command that you cannot use it to modify your hip set or rafters.
Sorry.
Because it will make, no, that's all right. Because it will make it like a big disaster, I guess, in the future, if we let users just, use like a normal command to modify rafter like that. In the future, we will block all this, but you will have like a specific command to insert rafter or modify rafter.
Yeah.
You will go to the like an edit block that we have in AutoCAD or in NX at the moment for detailed videos. You will have access to like block editor for your hip set that you can modify everything just inside that, not out.
So are we going to be able to use? Sorry, Naz. Are we going to be able to use that one where we can just move it like that, like stretch it, like from that grip point?
Yes. You can use it. Yeah. You can use it.
I like that one.
Stretch is a great spot.
So if you're stretching it, it's going to detect the hip and create the bent tab connection.
No, you have to move. That's what I mean. So it's probably not good it's not good when you're stretching it from a hip, but maybe if you're in a valley and you're not so worried about the actual endpoint, or you just, that's probably like, that's a bit long there. I'll just trim that back a bit, or I'm not saying that's going to be what you use all the time. But yeah, I think the question was, I'm not sure who said it. Can you put a little one in that corner? I was able to do that fairly easily. So that wasn't, I would say the answer would be yes to that one.
Yes, you're correct.
That was simply inserting an additional one, or did you just do copy?
No, I used the copy first, and then Naz obviously said that's not what we're going to be doing, which is good. And then I just typed in insert rafter. I'm sure there'll be a shortcut on your cheat sheet, which will probably be IR maybe. Yep. And then IR.
At the moment.
Insert. Oh, I don't have it at the moment, but yeah.
It's a roof block.
Yeah. So I've just got insert. I just started typing in insert. Which is not working because of my keyboard.
Yeah, but at the moment, nothing.
Yeah. The insert rafter command works though. Yeah. Sorry, my keyboard's just slow down. So that's editing rafters. So any questions around that? So yeah, I like I guess that last point was a good one, Keaston, how when I inserted that one there, when let's see if I can get it to work now. Insert rafter, common rafter, 600, and you can see it stops at that valley. Obviously, you don't want it to stop there. You just want it to come through to that truss.
Happens in Enduro there.
Yeah.
So with that hip where you're extending it to that truss cord,
yeah.
I asked you this the other day.
Yeah.
Is there any plan to have something there we could say is create a bent tab connection for that rafter joining to the back of the truss, where it notch the flanges and possibly even box the top cord of the truss?
Yeah, agree. Yep. Nah, I like there isn't, but that's exactly what the EEs, like what you spoke about the other day, that we need to obviously consider when we're making upgrades to the rafter menu or the rafter connection details. I think obviously today we're focusing on what the roof shape and roof components can do. Those suggestions are great and they need to keep coming, but that's obviously going to be an improvement on top of what EnduroCAD can do, as opposed to what we're doing at the moment, just trying to get NX to do what EnduroCAD can do. But completely agree. If we get like a bent tab on the probably the outside boxed one that can fold around somehow and screw into that top cord to create that box. And then obviously so you can see the screen's a bit darker than before because we're editing the block reference in place. Then you close out of the reference and you save changes. When I press this button, we're going to lose all those changes because there is a bug in there at the moment, but you would hit save and then all reference edits will be saved. It'll probably, we few dramas there. Yes.
Do you still have the button that adjusts the horns of the trusses to be cut square?
Sure.
Yes. Good one. Rebuild truss to hip connections.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
Yeah.
So that did that then. It was pretty quick. Yeah, it was quick, wasn't it? Let's see if we can see that one in
Obviously it doesn't do it for some of them.
No, I Control Z. Rightio, so we're just going to build the hip set construction. Right, perfect, good,
nice.
So yes is the answer. Do we? Yeah, obviously the web editor is there as well. That's exactly the same as the one in EnduroCAD. So I don't think there's too much point going through that. We might make it a little bit nicer to look at, but you're just going to be going through the same kind of menu. There we go. Got an error all straight up. But yeah, that truss web editor will be exactly the same. And obviously you can, like I did before, you could select the truss and right click truss, edit truss, would take you to the web editor, the same as what it does in EnduroCAD currently.
One thing I requested a couple of years ago now in the truss editor was the ability to clone cords or webs. Like if we wanted to make a raking truss or a part of the truss is just say raking, instead of like having to put in a ceiling block, we could just say clone one of the top cords and then offset it by whatever, like you do with a component in the wall editor.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's another
roof face for just one truss, and
I know what you mean. So you're going to clone that cord and just drag it across maybe 400 to make your rake cords your 600 mil. Like instead of building a void block, you can make adjustments to the I know what you mean. That's once again, that's an improvement that we can definitely potentially look at, which is the reason that we're moving from obviously Fire to IntelliCAD, so we can then have the ability to make those changes in that web editor, as opposed to like running it, in Fire with all those restrictions and all that extra code you've got to write and the difficulty around that. So 100%. But yeah, as I said, focusing today on not looking at my detailing ability, but just the buttons that I'm pressing. But yeah, fully understand that's a good, similar to the wall editor, like grabbing a K-brace and just cloning it or something. Like, exactly the same. Grabbing a top plate and just copying it and then extending it or something, as opposed to well, I guess you can clone it, sorry, but you can't. You can only move it in the up and down direction, as opposed to moving it, 360 or whatever, moving it around. Agree. No pushback there from me. So I guess I'm at the stage now, unless Naz has any input any questions. I think Naz might need to go to a 1 o'clock meeting. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I just correct myself. What you've done, I totally, I didn't see the part that you went in the block editor for the hip set. What you've done was exactly right about copying a refer. I missed that part that you open the block editor for the hip set. That's correct, exactly what we want. That's when you can copy the refer as long as
Right.
we are in the block editor, not out of that. One that, and another thing, if Kason, can you please send us like a one sample job? That we need an IFC from ArchiCAD. We're doing the testing on our IFC. Yeah, if you can please.
Send you some IFC.
Sorry.
Some IFC files.
Yes, please, because I guess if I'm not wrong, you using the file from the ArchiCAD, am I right?
Yeah.
Summit House. Yeah, because we're doing like development on our IFC also in NX. We need to do some testing from the ArchiCAD file. If you can please send us like some couple of job with the IFC ArchiCAD.
This one here, I'll send you the same one for that so you can see like direct comparison.
The IFC stuff is so cool, and I'm obviously not going to go through it today, but yeah, that's not too far away from a demonstration either.
Yeah.
It's
do you know the
sorry?
number that you've got there?
508749.
Okay, I'll send you the IFC for that so you can do a direct comparison of what it's coming in.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, because in the background, we are working on the IFC also. What will happen in the future, like now you're tracing Fahrenheit in NX and adding level and ball. But in the future, we can just convert the IFC file to like our smart object, and then you can create part. It will be really easy. You don't need even trace your Fahrenheit to add all the ball. You can just convert it to NX file, which is our smart object. And then in EnduroCAD, you're building the parts. Yeah, that's it from me. Do you guys have any question about NX or development area or anything else?
Keep up the good work, Nas.
Thank you.
Doing real hard work.
The only thing I was going to ask was about IFC, but you just covered that, so that's good.
Yes, in the background,
cool.
we're doing all the development about the IFC and even wall component, which Galen mentioned earlier. We are working on the wall components also, but we cannot use it like with our next release. We are working at the moment in development. We have to do lots of testing, like roof and shape roof component, but will be easier than roof shape and roof component for us. That one was the really time consuming one. But yeah, we will keep you updated about those part also.
I think so. So do you think, guys, that if we did release a beta version, that you guys would be able to give us some feedback? I guess that's the big question.
100%.
Sorry? Yeah.
Yep.
I know how hard it is to give feedback when I'm clicking them out. I fully understand that.
Installed side by side with the current version. Not going to want to override the current version, is it?
I think we can override it.
Yeah, about NX, when we send you the next release, will be our public release. You can override the previous one. That will be the NX that include even the layout that you're using currently, and will be the testing for our roof shape and roof component. Will be just one NX you are using. That's the reason in the workspace.
So the layout thing functionality will still be fine. It won't have any, extra glitches.
No, that's the reason earlier Galen explained that you will have in the workspace, you will have like an NX model and NX layout. NX layout will be the previous one that you are at the moment you are using. The model will be connected to level wall, roof shape, roof component, and all the development.
To beam thickness.
Sorry, I missed that.
Dimensioning for beam thickness.
Yes, that will be okay at the moment, Kason. You haven't done any testing. They fixed everything so far. Finger crossed.
What about the double says it can't pick up the double truss while migrating them? So
if you're dimensioning,
yeah,
so you've got to turn it on girder truss.
Girder truss.
And then trusses, yeah.
So it may from the face. Yeah.
Actually, with the double trusses and girder trusses, it doesn't seem to be able to just do the face. It'll do the thickness. There's no option to have face or thickness for when you dimension.
I always thought it was better to do the thickness for a girder. I like when you got a double one. I always preferred to have it so they can see like, okay, that 80 mil dimension comes up. We know that has to be in that 80. You know what I mean?
I guess for the girder truss, but for a double truss, because I mean, it even says for the dimensioning that it dimensions to the front of the double truss. So
Yeah, and the front's in the middle, isn't it?
I will double check this one. I will double check.
Okay.
The dimensioning is wrong now. At the moment, it shows just a thickness.
I think so.
Because it's a double truss and it dimensions to the front face, there's 2 trusses and the front faces are 80 mil apart because they're kind of toes facing out. So it actually gives you an 80 mil dimension from the front face of the first of the double to the front face of the double. So that so what did you want to see on the dimension string, Keyston?
Potentially just the option to have just one face.
Yeah.
So just that one front face.
Just, thickness, or like it does for the other trusses, thickness.
Yeah,
or
so
not.
instead of having that 80 mil there, you just got one dimension and then no 80, then it goes to the next front face of the next truss behind it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
We'll double check, but at the moment, your workaround will be like delete that one extra dimension and use the grip point, extend it, the blue grip point, and extend it. That's a workaround at the moment, but I will double check.
Cool.
Thanks, Nas.
No worries. Any other question? Why are you laughing at me, Glenn? I didn't say amazing. I said no worries.
Thanks, Naz. That's good.
Oh, the outriggers.
For the outriggers, it was built all right. Because remember, the Benson was saying when we extend the top chord to support the outriggers, it won't pick up that chord for the engineering purposes. So for when we design the truss, so it won't take into account the outrigger sitting on that top chord.
That's what you mean.
Like for the outriggers, when we extend the top chord to support the
outriggers,
so
because it won't build them if we don't.
So it won't picking up that top chord while designing the truss as load bearing, yeah. So
Is that something you could put into an EH?
Possibly. I think you mean like if there is no top chord, it won't build the outriggers, right? So you have to add a beam so it'll add the outriggers.
instead of the beam, we just extend the top chord of a truss to act as a beam. But when you design it, won't consider that. So, like, in account.
You there?
Yep.
Okay, it's just someone else talking, I wasn't sure. So say it's asking if we extended our top chord for whatever reason, like say we've got a porch and we want to use that top chord as a rafter.
Yep.
And
Just support outriggers.
yeah, and we want to build outriggers there. Is the load of the outriggers, it's not getting calculated in the
I'd have to have a look. Can you submit that job as an EH? I'd have to see the job, and I think I understand what you mean by extending the top chord down, like extending the eave of the truss down to form a rafter and then running outriggers over the top. I would have to have a look to see what material you're using and how it's kind of reacting, to see whether, like, what it's doing. Are you able to add that as an EH? Yeah. Good question. Appreciate that. Just trying to focus today on the feedback from the presentation more than anything. Just so we don't.
How do you feel, Kotari guys, about NX? What do you think about NX, the development we are doing? Are you happy?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good.
Amazing.
That's good. Yeah, that's what we want to hear. But yeah, also, like, if you come up with the ideas or you think of something, that you think it's not doing that it should, like, now's the time that we really want to know. And as I said, I know it's hard from looking at that presentation that I did, because I probably try and avoid, going into areas that it's going to crash or whatever. But if there's something that it's doing that you need it to do that it can't do, or there's something that you think it needs to do for you guys to be able to utilize it, to be able to review it, then let us know as soon as you can. But I think, aside from a couple of those small issues around lowering the bottom face and rejoining the block, I think it would be pretty close for you guys to be able to do most of the stuff that you do. Like, I think some small bugs, but I don't think they're going to be big, hard things to fix in terms of getting it to a space that you guys can build your whole roof. Can you just put your mic on mute, Naz? Sorry, that guy in the background's really loud.
The thing I had about the layouts was it doesn't differentiate at the moment between a beam other and a wall other. So if you want to delete
great point. Yep. So we're looking at the moment. Yeah. We're looking at the moment on the layers. So there's no layer for kind of wall other or some beam others. I think are maybe the one. But we're looking at, there was a couple of requests for having them on a separate layer, so we could possibly renumber them separately to like the 100 or the 1 to 100 that the walls get numbered in. So there's definitely some work involved around creating a couple of new layers and maybe putting those wall others or beam others, I can't remember which, on a different layer that would enable you to renumber them so they're not included in the wall or beam sequence. But also, it would help with turning them on, turning them off in the layout space if you didn't want to see it.
Just to add something, the layer is available. We have a different layers, but with the wall numbering, renumbering, we don't have the option to turn off and turn on. Then, for example, I guess one customer, maybe it was Christian, I don't know, one of the customer requests that we don't want to have like wall other in our numbering. We want to have a different numbers. That's the reason now we will add an option for like have a different numbering for wall other. But the layer is already available. If you check the NX layer under Explore layer, is available.
I know you can turn the wall other off as a layer, but sometimes I use a beam other for a beam that might be a fabricated beam, just so it's showing up on there, and we can then renumber that without. So that's still visible of the wall other. That's all.
Yeah. Yep.
Minor things.
That stuff's good. Add that in. Yeah, like if I know it's hard, but it's great. Like if you can just, even if you send me an email, if you don't want to put it on, like it's good to add that into our system so we can review it, via the, it's not the EH, is it? Is it the Enduro, the NX help? I get a bit confused with the notation, but yeah.
Yeah, if they go through the NX hub and they create the ticket, it says NX or EC. Yeah, I will get a separate ticket for that.
Yeah, I agree. That's great. Yeah. So that kind of feedback is invaluable. Like, definitely want that, and that's obviously the reason for the presentation today, just to give you guys an ability to go back, obviously, to your desk this afternoon or whatever, have a chat about it, think, oh, geez, it would be good if it could do that. We can't use it until it does this. Geez, Naz did a terrific job, and then provide that feedback, back to us so we can prioritize that.
I just correct Glenn here. Glenn did the wonderful job, not Naz. You've done a great job, Glenn. Thank you so much. You did everything.
I do the presentation. I don't do any of the code writing or any of the ribbon.
You did a great job.
But yeah, any feedback that you think about this afternoon or tomorrow, send me an email, send Naz an email, or put it on the help system, and we'll add it into our list of priorities. Like what you say about adding the eave to multiple faces at once or something. That kind of thing. It's probably not something that a lot of people do because they don't cut that block with that path cut and then have to rebuild all the eaves. So that kind of thing is good, is probably good feedback.
Excellent.
Cool.
Been good, man.
All right. Did you want to stick around, Keiston, for 5 minutes just to go over those couple of things? Happy to do that.
Have a wonderful day, guys.
Thanks, Naz.
Thank you, Glenn. You did great. See you.
See you later.
Bye.
Cool. No probs.
Cool.
Rightio.
All right.
So
what was it? It was just the error code for that.
The error code. Yeah. So where were you at with that in that space? Did we get back to you? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You sent me an email saying you had a workaround for us. I didn't fully read it.
Right. Okay. So.
More question.
Sorry,
are they willing to add like more engineering options like beam deflection or something? If we add a beam in Alfresco or in Garage, so like a small menu telling the beam deflection that it's all right or it's fast.
Can you hear that?
So there was I heard a little bit around getting some information around the beam deflection.
Engineering as in regards to testing beam deflections and stuff, if we're using beams for alfrescos or bulkheads or whatever. Is that something?
What kind of beams?
Oh, C-pillar to RHS, whatever.
Yeah, I'll just have to, once again, and I know I sound like a broken record because I used to be exactly the same as you guys, and I used to hate putting in issues. But so we've got the span charts. We're obviously designing the beams to meet a certain engineering criteria with our lintel beams that we put in that space. So you're saying, like, when the fabrication sheet comes out, you know, say that beam is going to have 10 mil deflection, or is it more?
Potentially something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you trying to design your beams to meet a certain maximum deflection that's less than what the Australian standard allows?
Not necessarily. I mean, we'll have beams in some instances that'll pass engineering wise, but it's more deflection for, say, for plasterboard or for cracking and all that. Cracking and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Add that request in. I'm a bit wary of making a comment around that because it's not necessarily my area in terms of the engineering side. Like, that's probably more Devi. I'm more involved with probably talking to you guys, understanding what's going wrong, and then trying to communicate that back to the team related to detailing using the LGS. But I can say that obviously Keyston is aware of the framed header beams that we're doing some testing on. And we want to obviously develop the light gauge steel sections that we have into more larger beam sections that we can use for the alfresco, whether that's like a boxed stud on top and a box stud on the bottom, and then like a web truss in between, almost like a flush double truss that would work as an alfresco beam. And just working out the best way to do that we can obviously clad to. We want to be able to clad to it. We don't want to have tech screws sticking out on both sides like a flush truss or whatever. We want to be able to build like a wall frame, I guess, envelope that had sections in it that formed like a webbed beam, or just 4 box studs together. Maybe that would span 2 meters with 4 meters of truss load that you could use maybe around your porch. That's just a small like a small kind of 2 meter by 2 meter porch overhang at the front of the house, instead of having to use like a C150. So all those sections come out of the Enduro machine, and you're not having to source, maybe C150s.
But basically, it's like a truss sort of thing. Yeah, you window header. Yeah.
It would be great. Like it's like separate plugin for engineering purposes. Like for outriggers, if we use like box studs or something, it tested and shows that it will be all right using for the outriggers or like different beams, like a separate plugin like for engineering purposes and all that.
Yeah. 100. Like we are definitely trying to develop the ability of using the light gauge stud section in its strong axis as a beam. Obviously, we're starting with those frame headers. We're doing some testing on that, where we're putting the C90 section in as a wall frame above the opening, and testing that wall frame. Obviously, it's going to be capped with top plate. It's going to have a sill below it, so it's got extra parts integrated, or connected to it that are going to strengthen it, not just relying on that single, C90 75 beam section that's been tested. So improving the testing around that to get bigger spans for that, and then extending that same knowledge that we get from the testing into like a wall frame beam that might just be like a 250 deep wall frame that has like a quad stud at the top, or a double stud at the top, depending on how far it's spanning. That would be the supporting member, but would still be capped with a top plate and a sill below it, and then maybe some vertical studs just for cladding purposes down to the eaves of feet line, similar to what you guys do with your C250s, and then you step that truss around with the eaves of feet coming in with your 3 courses. Maybe we'd work on a 254 high beam or 257, I think your 3 courses are. So then you could utilize that wall frame beam to line up with your eaves of feet, and it might span 2 or 3 meters, and you might, who knows, maybe some of your porches or whatever we could use like a quad stud or a double stud section in there, and we just maybe not need those C150s or C250s.
Yeah. Get rid of purlins altogether. It'd be nice.
Yeah, that's the plan. So yeah, that's going on in the background.
Test with those as well, because we would have stopped lengths in, and
such a waste.
The headers, windows, and stuff, it just ends up in the bin.
Yeah, correct. And you end up, someone's got to do a stock take. Someone's got to order it. Someone's got to cut it. Someone's got to take it off the truck with a forklift, put it back on a rack, take it off the rack, bring it in the shed, cut it with a grinding saw, obviously, and have a swim for that. Like, there's so many extra tasks that you need. Or maybe you guys don't need to do that, but there's so many extra tasks that you need to do when you're cutting purlins and dealing with that extra heavier section that you're not ordering into length. You have to cutting a stock length, and
That was a joy.
all that.
A mill in Darwin, I'd just give him a list of all our headers and he'd roll them for us and they'd be ready to go.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could get a turnaround time in a couple of days. That'd be so good. Yeah, we used to have the same issue. So yeah, I'm fully behind that project. I was heavily involved with that. We're going to get some testing done. So yeah, hopefully, not probably answering the question you had, but maybe just taking it in a different direction. Cool. Thanks for your time. Very good. Rightio. So what we've done in the Enduro CAD is, did you understand why that error was coming up?
Not particularly, because I looked at the IFC data, the NC data, sorry, and it was basically where it should be an end rivet flange. It was just a
INS
notch flange, I think, was it? Sorry.
Yeah, intermediate notch.
INS.
So it was an INS punch. So the INS punch is the web punch, and that INS punch was after the end or the E code of the part. So you can't have a punch, you can't have a negative punch or a punch after the E code.
Yeah.
That's going to obviously cause drama. So the reason that the INS punch came in, you've got that option ticked in your detailing options to put an internal bottom plate web notch next to openings.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when your bottom plates come out, there's going to be a notch at every opening.
We've had that turned off. We haven't used that for a long time.
Really? That job you sent through had that turned on?
Okay.
Far out. That potentially might save a few things. Okay, so that was turned on. Okay, and then you trimmed that bottom plate back to the jam stud, which I know you guys do to save material and time to make the frame like an L shape. But because that ticked box was turned on in the detailing options, the software tried to put an INS punch in the opening, but there was no bottom plate there to put the INS punch in. So the code ended up putting a little kind of INS punch half, like past the end of the part, if that makes sense. And that's what caused the issue. So what we've done is we've changed Enduro CAD to not, like, if you trim that bottom plate back to the jam stud, it does not try and put an INS punch or a bottom plate notch inside the opening. Okay, it'll delete that INS punch out, or it won't try and put that INS punch in. Okay, so that's step one. That wasn't too difficult. That's already been done and will be in the next release. Down the track, there's going to be another improvement to if you have a punch that occurs before the start of the part or after the end of the part. Okay, and I say punch because it might not necessarily just be an INS. It might be an RF, or it might be an RW.
Service hole. Yeah.
Maybe service hole. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so if any of those punches occur outside the end of the part, so it'll either be a negative punch or it'll be a punch after the E code at the end of the part. You can do it in two spots, but when you hit detail or check NC data, it'll come up with a screen that'll give you two options. One will be to delete the punch out, the offending punch, or give you the option to go back and edit the wall.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and this is only in walls, mind you, not trusses and joists. Okay, so we're not allowing you to delete punches out of trusses and joists because we're not sure of the engineering effect on the engineering around that. Okay, so we don't think it'll occur though.
NC data, it doesn't show you the error when you're actually looking at the thing. It just I looked the other day didn't anyway. It just showed me the end command and that was it. It didn't show the one.
That severe warning. In the one we had, a severe warning did come up. So if you detail and then the bomb comes up and at the same time another screen comes up with a green kind of background that comes up with your errors or your warnings.
Mm.
And you've got warnings, which are okay. You get a lot of warnings. You get warnings on a trust header because the RF punch codes are within 55 mil or whatever. You get a list of warnings, which I ignore them too. But there's another option there to click the severe ones. So it's warnings and severe. If you go to severe, it'll come up with a list of punches that you do need to fix before you send to the machine. Because if you don't, the machine potentially will not roll that file.
Mm.
Okay, so if you ignore those severe warnings, then there is a big chance. Mind you, though, we fully understand the repercussions of a file getting to the machine with that's not rollable. Once it gets to that point, it affects 40 people. It's the worst. The worst scenario that can happen is you get a file, you want to start rolling, you got 5 people waiting, and it won't roll. Okay, you got to wait for EnduroCAD help. You got to wait for someone to troubleshoot it. You got to re-detail it. You got to create the bomb again. You got to send it back to the machine. You got to put it back through Enduro Hub. We don't want it to get to that point. Okay, so
Luckily, Tom
that's
picks it up and he can fix it before it gets there. But
Sorry?
luckily, Tom picks that up before it gets to the machine. He sorts it out before then. But there's one thing I noticed the other day. There was a job that was all the webs were detailed in 0.55 instead of 0.75, and it wouldn't roll. Whereas the HMI used to give you an error message and it'd let you proceed.
Right. Perfect.
Now apparently it won't.
Yep. So that's great. So what we want to do, we understand that if we allow the user to ignore that and it gets to the machine and it won't roll, that is a big problem. We want to fix those issues before they become a severe NC data error and the user can't roll. So what we want to do is, fix that INS or RF punch code that's outside the frame perimeter. We want to fix that in EnduroCAD so you don't get that error.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
But
Cool.
which is what we're going to do in this case. But if you are getting severe errors in your NC data, send them through to us. We want to fix them so it doesn't happen, so you don't need to go back and fix the part in the first place. That's the goal for us, okay? So in this instance with this one you had the other day, we're putting steps in place so that doesn't happen in the future. That's our first step. Okay, so if you're getting this error with the 0.55 webs, can't roll, send it through to actual. Send it through to, say, we used to be able to roll this, now we can't. What's the reason? How do we get around not having this issue arise? Or what can you do so we don't have this issue? So it's obviously a mistake by the detailer, but it's not going to get picked up because you can roll the webs in 0.55, obviously, if you wanted to. And the truss still passed, engineering still passed with 0.55 webs. Maybe you've got to put some extra screws in the connection, but that's probably not a big deal. They've made a mistake with maybe 1 truss, 10 trusses. We want to just instead of going back and redetailing it, we just want to roll it in 0.75. Can we do that? How do we do that? What's the best way to go forward there? I completely agree. You make 3 studs in the job 0.55 by accident and you want to roll in 0.75. You don't want to have to go back and redetail the job and then send it back to the machine with the correct BMT. You just want to bypass that and just roll in 0.75. So if that is a concern, if that is an error, 100% that needs to be, get Ton to log it like that. That's their high priority for us.
Yeah, I can do that just as an EH. No worries.
Yeah, EH or a maintenance. It's probably going to be it's probably not an EH. It's probably more a machine one. Is that an EM?
Not too sure. I'll check with Tom.
Wherever Ton would log it, I think, because the detailer, it's not necessarily an EnduroCAD error, that one, because we don't know whether he's actually decided to make it in 0.55 the webs, because that would be not common, but we're giving them the option to do the webs in 0.55. So if he makes a mistake in 0.55, I don't know, I guess you could have a warning. Maybe this truss is 0.55 webs. I don't know.
Say, we're rolling, say, 0.75, but this is thickness of 0.55, whatever. Do you want to proceed? And it's just yes or no, whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that'll be EM because it's on the HMI on the roll former.
Mm.
So it's more like an Enduro hub or a HMI in the roll former error, not so much an Enduro CAD, which is an EH. Enduro CAD help.
Is what it's
I think
called?
I think EM is Enduro maintenance or Enduro hub maintenance or something.
Okay.
I'm not wherever Tom would log his requests, that would be where you want to do it. But yeah, no, we want to know those ones because we don't want to get into a situation where you've got like half a shift can't work because of some small error that's been made upstream. We want to obviously get those errors fixed upstream, but not at that last point on the roll former.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Cool. So how did today go? Was it worthwhile?
Yeah, mate, definitely, yeah. Because actually been just quietly a bit of question about other products out there and what their capabilities and stuff are, but looking at the direction this is going, because the other ones are also based in IntelliCAD. I don't want to say too much more, but you probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah, your head, from what I've seen of the other software, this looks like it's going to be all over that.
Yeah, look, appreciate the honesty. And I think, I don't know, like obviously, that decision's, I don't know, it's obviously above me, those kind of talks as well. But I think in those instances, it's great. Like my opinion is like if we're not doing what you need us to do, then we need to do what you need us to keep going. Like it's not, that's what we're here for. We're here to make, I understand, it's probably been a bit harder the last couple of years with all the effort that we've put into NX and not being able to kind of, maybe make the improvements that we normally would in the EnduroCAD software. Fully understand that, and that's hard to kind of, we don't want to use that as an excuse, but hard for you guys, obviously, to probably swallow. But I think, like if we get it to a point where you could use NX and detail faster, and then you start using it, and then you start coming up with these ideas like rebuild all these at the same time, like that will be able to be implemented a lot faster than what we used to do with the fire code. And I think you guys are in a great spot that you're probably able to have a fair amount of input into what those improvements or priority of those improvements are. Like with obviously the amount of material that you guys roll. So I think it's really important obviously for me to kind of show you what it does and get you guys involved with that beta version. So you guys are in a position that you can put forward, okay, these are our 3 big issues that we want worked on to help our process. Hopefully we can apply them to other fabricators as well, but it would enable us, to maybe put a little bit more focus in the areas that you guys need. Yeah,
too easy, man. No, definitely, that's everything that you working on in NX looks great, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully, have a look at our fucking bottom chord notching and see what's going on there. Bottom plate notching. I thought that was turned off because it was just about the hand thing and being wobbly. So
agree. That one was definitely turned on. And if you turn it off and then rebuild the wall and then extend trim the part back like you normally do, you don't get that error.
Yeah.
I did try that. That was my recommendation. Paul said that's probably a little bit hard to kind of do to change the detailing option. You don't want multiple detailing options for different walls, which potentially is right, but I wasn't aware that you guys weren't doing that. I thought that was probably turned on across the board.
No, it was turned on by default from what I remember. But just double check that.
Yeah, cool.
We'll make sure Easy Quotes are turning that off.
Yep, because it is hard to pick up on a check.
It's not something you look for. Same with like web thickness, right? You don't think to go into the promote demo to make sure they've used the right web thickness.
No way.
It's like, why would you do it to one truss even? It's like, what? I don't know.
Well, there would just be an error. They've just obviously promoted it and to 1 mil and then maybe demoted it back and selected the wrong one or something. I've done it a few times, promoted it to 1.2 instead of 1. And then you get a phone call, I've got to roll 1.2 mil truss. But yeah, I would probably say that would be what's happened there. Yeah, but you're right. It's hard to you need to. You're not going to maybe potentially be able to avoid that. So you want to come up with a way to, if it does happen, okay, we just do A, B, C, and we get around it without having to, go too far back up the tree and we get a fix to come back down the tree and then roll it. So anything we can do there in that space, or if we've done something that's not enabling you to do what you used to do, then for sure add that in.
Sweet, we'll do then. Very
Cool.
good, very successful.
All right, no probs. So just lastly, so was it just the eaves? That was probably the only one I probably took from you guys. Just maybe the ability to add like that was probably the only kind of one that I
select all edges to build the eaves on in one hit sort of thing. What else did we have?
Naz was probably taking note, or she probably was taking notes, and I haven't obviously
Most
seen them, but that was.
You just said you were doing purely because there was a bug in there.
Yeah, like the join.
I never even thought of doing that. Like where we're dropping the garage, I'd always cut that bit out and then have to build an extra triangle in there to, to fill in that gap. But slicing that face off and then that makes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
okay. The face cut.
Yeah. Saddles, right? But I've never used it. So.
Yeah, I use face cut a fair bit. But yeah, it's great. Like if I can be like I'm not saying I can at all, because I think the way you guys detail is extremely high end. But if there's anything I can do, like if like training or something, like if you guys have some guys or girls that are, I don't know, need some help in certain areas or something, yeah.
Like a lot of detail, but I mean, I've been here the longest, and I was thrown in the deep end. I've been here a few months. Everyone else was sort of laid off and quit around me, so I didn't really get a chance to fully explore every function of the software. So I've just used the way I've always used it since I first started, and without sort of developing my understanding of other tools do and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's probably a good opportunity. I know it's hard, like in the position you're in with NX coming through, and there's probably going to be people that are going to probably grab NX and probably use that at a higher level than what you're able to, and that's probably hard when you're in a position when you're managing staff and not actually doing the work.
Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah.
Makes my life easier if they're.
Yeah, if they know and you don't. But yeah, look, I'm still learning NX 100%. Like I'm fortunate in the sense that I'm able to get jobs from all our different fabricators and try and make them work. So I am able to utilize some different functions. But yeah, there's still things like Sylvia came in the other day and said something to me. I can't remember what it was, and I was like, far out. Like, why don't I do that? That makes so much more sense. Like that happens, to me all the time. So, you guys will do things and I'll be like, wow, that's like makes so much sense. So it's two ways.
Stuff, there's always something you can learn about it, right? Like
100%.
And for the most part, my AutoCAD knowledge is pretty basic.
Yep.
Whereas a lot of people here were, trained in AutoCAD, so they know all the keyboard shortcuts and all the, loopholes, whatever. But every now and then I'll come across something that I do learn, pick up in AutoCAD that they don't know about. So,
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, and you're right. There's no, you can't sit there and think that you know everything about detailing ever, and or you think you've got to a point where there's nothing to learn because 100%. Like it's and now with NX, we're in that unique position, probably you and I, that we're able to kind of think about all these ideas that we've had in the past and think, okay, now we can use it. Yeah, like in terms of that raised portico, I probably skipped over a little bit, but what I want to do is you build your roof block without extending your pitching perimeter out to lift your chord height up, but you then select the three faces of that raised portico that are going to be raised, and then you like extrude the top chord up, similar to how you lower the bottom face.
Yeah.
So why can't we just select those three faces on the front porch and just go, all right, let's lift them up 600 or raise to a certain plane if it's a raised portico?
We did with extend shrinking the block face or trim. That only works on a cut face, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you need a vertical face. You could do it on a gable end, I guess.
You could do it with the heel of the face as well. That'd do the same thing.
If you minus that back in, then it would lift it up, but that would be the same as
you'd have to plus it. You'd have to say, okay, extend roof face or whatever by whatever the pitching offset is to raise it those height. If that was possible.
I think it's such a waste of time to like do all those vertical cuts and delete it and then rebuild your eave, and like, oh, it just frustrates me every time. Like, surely, yeah, we could just grab a face or 3 faces and just raise it up, like, you know, using grip points in the roof that are on the vertexes and the broken hips and the crown hip points, and just grab them and just raise them up like 600 or 650 or whatever we need to meet, you know, the job requirements, than opposed to, yeah, like overbuild the block and then cut it back, and then rebuild your eaves and face cuts. And particularly with that garage usually being a cut in the middle, a lot of people splice their trusses on that garage wall, not run them right through, so you could do a cut on that wall, and then, yeah, it can get fairly, you know, complex in learning the right procedure to do that, particularly if you're like a junior detailer. So I think having that ability in
Not doing it every,
NX,
and then you got to get your head back into it when you're showing someone else how to do it. It's like,
yeah, correct. And particularly like that job today, obviously we were raising that roof face to match the plane on the left side. We weren't just raising it up 600 to increase that heel height. We were raising the portico up to the front portico face matches in with that left-hand roof face down that side. So there's 2 different options that you're obviously, when you're building those raised porticos, you're either building it up, you know, so you've got a 600 heel height, or you're building it up to match in with a roof plane from another face on the roof. So look, I think that there's, yeah, like, why can't we, like, similar to that void block, how you just grip it and just lift it.
yeah.
I know that was a rectangle, but, you know, why can't we do that similar thing? So I think there's a lot there to kind of work with, and you got to think outside the box about, you know, we've got all these probably skills that we've learnt from 20 years of using the software, but if we look at it from a higher perspective about, you know, what could it do if we had, you know, no restrictions?
Yeah.
You know, what are our, you know, pie in the sky? Like, we talk about adding the Evo, that's great. Like, I think that stuff's good, but yeah, don't limit it to that. Like, why do we need to lower the bottom face? Couldn't we just drag a section down instead of having to cut it around the garage first and then drag and then lowering that bottom face? Couldn't we just add some grip points in the garage and just lower them a section of the block, as opposed to having to cut blocks at all? Like, why are we even cutting blocks? Like, do we need to ever cut blocks?
Cut bottom face or whatever, yeah, just to
Yeah,
bottom face, something like that. Yeah.
yeah, like extrude a section of the bottom of the ceiling face down 257. So when getting into a stage where you never have more than one roof block, you're just extruding it up around, and then we're developing that, you know, that command around inserting trusses anywhere. Maybe we're making some tweaks to that so it's a bit easier, so you can stagger trusses or you know, lay them out easier than having to kind of put construction lines and.
Actually, that's another like that. Possibly. I'll write that one down. Extend, trim, trusses, multiple.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Correct. Yeah. Like maybe we lay one truss out and then insert trusses 1200 off that that has the same bottom chord, and then we just drag the bottom chord left to meet a wall frame, drag it right. Just, you know, stretch it out, stretch the roof truss out, you know, with a click, as opposed to extend 95 mil or, you know, shrink 125 mil here. And then maybe, you know, we've got trusses down the other side. We just copy a truss across, put it there, and then it just rebuilds in that face, and then we just copy it in 1200 again. Or, you know, I think those things, you know, you want to be thinking like that, as opposed to, you know, just within that EnduroCAD sphere of you know, thought. Because I know I do. I 100% think, oh, you know, like EnduroCAD, you know, like cut roof blocks. That's what we do. It's what we always do. Why don't we just keep doing that? I don't think we should be kind of going down that path, and you know, thinking it from a higher level about, you know, what we do want that to do, because we're the ones that need to tell, you know, Naz and Wengen, you know, they don't know what we want, or they don't know what the detailer has to do. They don't know how to do a raised portico. They don't know that it takes 35 left clicks to cut that front porch in a certain way, and if you do it another way, it doesn't work. Like, they don't know that. So we have to kind of give them that, you know, that end goal to work towards. Okay, this is what we want. Do that. Like, oh, this is what I want. Okay, you work out how to get there, but this is what I want it to do. So I think that's important in this next step.
Definitely. Well, that's like what's governed my way of drawing trusses. I always freehand it, draw truss anywhere point to point, because also because we're breaking our roofs, you know, either side of internal load-bearing walls. So if you automatically put them in, it always builds the full width of your block. So it's either cut your block or just freehand them. So I just thought, just I know it's exactly where I want it to be. I just do that and just have it all done.
Yeah, but when you freehand it, let's just select it and just copy it 1200 and then 2400 and then just drag that one 100 mil because the wall steps out 100 mil, drag that one across a bit. And just have that ability to probably do that as opposed to going through that arduous menu where you insert double trusses, you know, cumulative, start point, base point, you know, automatic, distance, like far out. That like I use it, don't get me wrong, that's the way I put trusses out, not like you do, but you know, why don't we just lay our first truss out on the ridge or get a starting point, lay a truss here and then copy the next one out, you know, or copy the next 6 out if they're all the same, you know, span, and then, you know, maybe adjust one, then copy it 12, like work in that space as opposed to, you know, thinking that we need to go through those same kind of steps that we're used to in EnduroCAD. But yeah, 100%. Like, I'm probably not going to be the one now. Well, I've got some ideas obviously around things like the raised porch, but you guys use the software differently to how I did. So where your bugbears are probably different to where mine are. And your bugbears are obviously going to carry a lot more weight than me going to the software where I was going, geez, it'd be good if we could just raise this up 300. I'm going to get nowhere unless you come through and say, geez, it would be good if we could raise that 300. Then, you know, then it becomes, you know, triaged a little bit differently. So that's, yeah, but I know it's hard. You know, you get your head stuck with what you're doing, and it's difficult to think, you know, outside the box. But yeah, I look, yeah, whatever you come up with, don't be. If it's easy to shoot me an email and I type it up in an EH, if that's the restriction, then that's fine too. Whatever, you know, whatever needs to happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if you've got ideas for the software that you think they won't listen to you about because of what you just said, then I'll suggest the same thing.
yeah, correct. No, I think I think the raised porch and dropping the ceiling, like we don't want to be cutting blocks and then raising, like that's like, to me that's pain. Like we need to be able to
faces would be fucking
revolutionary,
right?
Yeah, I think so, and I don't think it's that hard. Like I don't think that would be that difficult. I you know, like looking at how I could grab that void block within that roof space and just, you know, stretch it in 3D, grab that rafter and, you know, stretch it in like on the angle of the rafter. Like I know we didn't really have a reference point, but, you know, being able to use those grip points to maybe, you know, adjust the roof face. Why can't we? I know it affects the roof block and potentially have to rebuild the block, but I look 100%.
Editing the block obviously is always going to reset the trusses or delete the trusses or whatever, but I mean, at least you've got the ability to manipulate the block without, as you say, having to chop it into bits and stitching it back together kind of shit.
Yeah. Well, why does it have to rebuild all the roof trusses? What? Well,
true.
I guess
when you chop the eaves off to cut the block and put the wider eaves, I was going to ask you, is that going to make all the trusses disappear? Obviously.
Yeah, that's a great question. I haven't even checked that. I did delete the trusses because I was aware that's what you normally do. But I like, couldn't we just cut that block and then rebuild the eave and then rebuild the trusses? Because rebuild trusses is just there's a button there to rebuild trusses, I think. Like why can't we just rebuild all trusses? And then you know, potentially there's, you know, you could make a block change and then not rebuild a truss, but then we could do a button to check trusses are rebuilt to block shape or something. I don't know, and then it might highlight the ones in yellow.
The house, you want to modify the block a bit, and all the back of your house is built already. You don't want to, you know, lose that.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I probably do cut blocks more than what you guys do. So if I change something, I've still got the back half still built. But yeah, no, look, I think those things are important, and yeah, look, I 100% think that we shouldn't be losing trusses if we make roof block changes. We just need to come up with a way that we can, you know, inform the user that there's a truss that doesn't follow the new roof block parameters or something. You know, do you want to rebuild? You know, yes or no. You make a conscious decision. things like that. I think, yeah, there's so many things to kind of consider, and obviously we're focusing on just copying across at the moment. But you know, in this next release, the beta version, come up with your top 10, top 20, top 100 wish list, and then give us something to aim at.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'll go back to the team now and get them to put in some suggestions, and we'll chuck it all through to you in one.
100%. That'd be great. That'd be perfect.
So
Really
what's
good.
the NX suggestion thing? It's not EH, is it? What's that called?
Oh, it's if you go into EnduroCAD help, I think it lets you choose NX or EnduroCAD.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if it goes to EnduroCAD and you're asking an NX question, it won't matter. It's it's just the NX ones go to Naz and the EnduroCAD ones go to Chu and myself. I
usually do it straight from my Outlook. That's all. I'll just go EH EnduroCAD at what is it? At EH at EnduroCAD or whatever.
Yeah. I think there is maybe. Yeah, correct. I think there maybe is one upstream of that button that allows you to go EnduroCAD. Is it related to EnduroCAD or is it related to NX? But like, yeah, it won't matter. It'll just be whose inbox it goes to start with. Yeah, it's not a big drama.
Cool.
All right, no worries. Thanks, mate.
Well, thanks for that.
A lot of your time today, and I appreciate your time. I know it's difficult, but yeah, cool. No worries. Thanks, Keiston.
I had a bit of a chat to your old boss yesterday.
Oh, Dennis.
Yeah,
good one. I still catch up with him very regularly. We catch up once a week.
It's a bit. Was speaking to you pretty regular as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit hard now. We do obviously try and not talk too much about. Not that we're overlapping or whatever, but we don't obviously want to get into a situation where I know something that he's talking to you about, or I tell him something that is internal to EnduroFrame. So we do try and separate that a little bit. But yeah, no, I was aware that he was helping you guys out with some. I don't know what. Probably more so on the manufacturing side.
Yeah, I think he's coming over. I think he said May maybe.
Cool.
Production side and stuff.
Yeah, nice. I wasn't aware of that, but yeah, I know he definitely talks highly of Ton and the team there that he catches up with. So I assume at some point we're probably going to cross paths, but he's asking us to do something, and I'll be involved with delivering it. But yeah, probably just trying to not get into a position where we're saying what we shouldn't, maybe outside of work. But no, he's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, man. Cool.
No worries. Thanks, Keiston.
I want to try and save this video before I walk away from this.
Yeah,
video.
right.
Yeah.
So I'll press leave, but just save that video and go from there. Cool. Any questions? Shoot them through.
Go easy. Cheers, bud.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
See you, man. Save. How do you save the video, mate? Sorry. Okay, so you've got to download it or something, right?
I'm afraid that it was recording wrong screen.
So where was it?
Just leave it. It will automatically send you the link.
Oh, does it to my email?
Yeah, to your Teams.
Oh, okay.
When you leave the meeting, you don't need to save it or anything.
There's going to be a lot of stuff on here that.
Yeah, but I am afraid that go to that window.